You ever feel like you're stuck in a loop, solving the exact same frustrating problem over and over and over again? Well, today, we're going to put on our detective hats and learn how to find the real culprit and finally solve those problems for good.
I mean, we've all been there, right? It's that same issue that keeps popping up at work, or that one thing at home that just keeps breaking. It feels like you're in Groundhog Day. But here's the thing. What if I told you that the reason it keeps coming back is that you're probably solving the wrong problem?
Okay, think about it like this. You see a wet floor. You can grab a mop and clean it up. That's a fix, right? But 10 minutes later, the floor is wet again. That's because you fixed the symptom, not the cause. The real solution, the permanent one, is to find that leaky pipe and repair it. That, right there, is the root cause.
And this is exactly where so many of us go wrong. Our instinct, our gut reaction is to just deal with what's right in front of us, mop the floor, and move on. But that quick fix, that immediate action, it pretty much guarantees that you'll be mopping that same floor again tomorrow.
You know, the first mistake any detective makes is jump into conclusions. And when we just guess at what's causing a problem, we're not being detectives. We're letting our own biases and assumptions run the show. And that leads to fixes that don't work, a lot of wasted effort, and yep, you guessed it, the problem comes right back to haunt you.
So, the big question is, how do we stop guessing and start investigating for real? Well, you need a system. So let me introduce you to what's going to become your new best friend in problem solving. It's called root cause analysis, or RCA for short. Think of it as the official procedure for finding the real culprit.
Okay, so let's get really clear on what we mean here. The root cause isn't just a cause, it's the core issue. It's the very first domino in the whole chain reaction. It gets tipped over and that sets everything else in motion, leading straight to your problem. You take out that first domino and the rest of the line never even falls.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just some clever idea, it's a professional standard. This line is from ISO, which is a global rulebook for quality management. And it says it right there in black and white. You have to eliminate the cause to stop the problem from coming back.
All right, so how does a real investigation actually work? It's not chaos. It follows a procedure, a reliable step-by-step process that takes you all the way from the crime scene to closing the case for good.
So, here's the path. First, you assemble your team of detectives. Then, you define exactly what happened using data, not just feelings. From there, you dig into all the things that might have contributed, which helps you zero in on the one true root cause. Only then do you come up with a fix. And this last part is absolutely crucial. You have to go back later and make sure your fix actually worked.
Okay, time for the fun part. Every good detective needs a toolkit, right? And the tools we use for root cause analysis are honestly pretty awesome. These are what you'll use to gather your clues, interrogate your suspects, and ultimately crack the case.
First up is my personal favorite because it is so simple but so powerful. It's called the 5 Whys, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's like being a relentless interrogator or maybe a curious toddler. You just keep asking why over and over until you can't go any deeper. Let's try it out. Here's our case. The machine stopped working. First question, why? Well, because the belt broke. Okay, simple enough. Case closed, right? No way. We are just scratching the surface. So we keep digging. Second question, why did the belt break? Because it was old and worn out. Now, that's a good clue for sure, but an amateur detective might stop here. Just slap a new belt on and call it a day. We're not amateurs, are we?
So we ask again. Question 3. Why wasn't the old, worn-out belt replaced? Because it wasn't on the maintenance schedule. Ah, now we are getting somewhere. See what just happened? We shifted from a physical problem, a broken part, to a process problem.
But we don't stop there. Question 4. Why wasn't it on the schedule? Because the whole maintenance process is outdated. We are so close now. I can feel it. Just one more why is going to blow this case wide open.
And bam, there it is. The real culprit. The ultimate reason the machine stopped is that no one is actually responsible for keeping the maintenance plan up to date. You see that? If you fix this one problem, assign an owner, the schedule gets updated, the belt gets replaced on time, and the machine never breaks in the first place. Case closed.
Okay, next tool in the kit is the Fishbone Diagram. Think of this as your investigation board where you map out every single possible suspect. For complex problems, this is a lifesaver.
It forces you to brainstorm potential causes across all these key categories: people, processes, equipment, you name it, making sure no stone is left unturned.
And our third tool is all about working smarter, not harder. It's the Pareto Chart. You've heard of the 80-20 rule, right? The idea that like 80% of your problems usually come from just 20% of the causes? Well, this chart proves it. It lines up all your issues by how often they happen and points a giant finger at the biggest offender. It tells you exactly where to focus your energy to get the biggest bang for your buck.
So, we have the process, we have the tools, but why does this all matter so much? Because adopting this detective mindset fundamentally changes how you approach challenges. It turns you from someone who's constantly putting out fires into someone who prevents them from even starting.
And the payoff is huge. You're no longer just mopping the floor, you're fixing the leaky pipe. This means you're creating permanent solutions that actually stick. You're making real improvements to how things get done. And honestly, you end up saving an incredible amount of time, money, and just sheer frustration.
Now, if you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Root cause analysis doesn't magically solve your problem for you. What it does is arguably even more important. It's the treasure map. It cuts through all the noise and chaos, and it points a giant flashing arrow at the right problem to solve for good.
So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Think about it right now. What's that one annoying problem, at work or at home, that just keeps coming back? You got it in your head? Good. Now that you have the tools of a detective, what recurring problem will you investigate first?